Hey everybody, a special, very early live stream with the news that is in the title, and it is that the Oakland Raiders Coliseum Lease Extension for 2019-2020 is expected to be publicly approved in public session next week. Now, I wasn't told what day that was, and I cannot say the source name who gave me this information. I can only explain to you that I got this information about, I would say, 30 minutes ago. From the time that I got it to when I came up here to prepare everything to put this live stream out and then make sure that it was posted at the various appropriate places so that Raider fans in particular could see the news. So this space and Oakland News Now and Zenny62.com and Oakland Focus and Oakland News Online were all the spaces. They all are owned by Zenny62 Media, or me, and all of them were the first to break the information that the Raiders are going to stay in Oakland. They weren't going anywhere else, like Birmingham, Alabama, as someone tried to fake news their way into the situation last week. And as they were doing that on that Thursday, I was saying, hey, look, that's not the case. They're staying right in Oakland. The lease is, for all practical purposes, done. There's just formalities that have to be gone through, like, for example, the drawing up of new paperwork to match the agreed upon terms of the lease. And then, of course, at closed session, the Coliseum JPA Board has to go over the paperwork, and they did do that last Friday. And there was more honing and refining this week, all progressing in the right direction, as I'm told, all pointing toward what will be a simple, in public signature, meaning that the Oakland Raiders will play their season, their 2019 season, in Oakland, the 100th year of professional football will be appropriately played in the Coliseum, where arguably it all started. It all started for the Raiders. So that's the news, folks. And I'll take what questions you have in the interim. Steve says the Raiders will play in Vegas in 2021. Jesus Meraz, did I pronounce that correctly? Asks, will Mark Davis will ask the NFL to play in Oakland next year? Well, the way is that a prediction on your part, or is it a question? The way the lease extension works, the Raiders have the option to automatically extend to cover 2020 if Las Vegas Stadium is, for whatever reason, not ready. The rent will go up by $3 million from $7.5 million to $10.5 million. Oh, by the way, important addition of information here. Hey, welcome to Zenny62, everybody. I'll repeat the information in a moment, but what I want to say for right now is the much discussed controversial parking issue where the Coliseum Joint Powers Authority alleged that the Raiders owed them over $900,000 in back revenue has been settled to the tune of $750,000. I think really is great news for the Coliseum Joint Powers Authority. They got something worked out and largely in their favor, short by, what, $150,000, okay? But still, it worked out in the Coliseum Joint Powers Authority's favor. Raider Lou, how you doing? Raider Lou 1990 says, already imagining my rep calling me and saying I need to put a deposit down ASAP. That'll happen. That will happen. And it should happen. And it should be, this should be the year the Raiders put a line in the sand and say, damn it, we're going to get to the Super Bowl and we're going to pull out all the stops to get there. Unusual plays, bold trades. Like, wouldn't it be cool if the Raiders suddenly announced, hey, you know what? Le'Veon Bell's going to be a Raider. Oh, and then on top of that, we're going to break the bank. We're going to get into a special sponsorship deal with Apple, and we're going to pay for both Antonio Bryant and Le'Veon Bell. One can dream, okay? One can dream. Raider Lou says, I'm doing good, sir. Appreciate all your information. Raider Lou, I appreciate that coming from a man of your legendary status. Thank you, sir so very much. So it's a great day. And I would hope means that there can be another party at Ricky's, you know, and we can all get back to the business of celebrating that we enjoy the Raiders in Oakland and that we're rooting for our organization to do the right thing and just win, baby, and close out. If this Vegas thing is indeed going to work out, at least close it out the right way. And when I say indeed work out, look, I'm concerned about the whole sponsorship issue, the fact that, as I talked about last night, Tim Donaghy was found to be guilty of fixing games with respect to gambling. All that's going to factor into what the Raiders are planning to do in Las Vegas. And then, of course, there are all of these casinos that have bankruptcy problems, or, excuse me, financial problems that could lead to bankruptcy, right? So this suddenly isn't looking, to me, like the big deal that... It doesn't look like it's coming along like LA is coming along, okay? It doesn't. It doesn't. Oh, by the way, the lease extension, no, you're wrong. The lease extension will be approved in public session. It was already approved in closed session last week, all right? Where you're confused is there's a buttoning up that has to be done of documents. When I say buttoning up, paperwork, like, for example, where is it? Yeah, here it is. Basically just paperwork, okay? You have to write down all of the agreements on paper, go over definitions, print them out, make sure all parties have them, and any additional paperwork that was missing in closed session Friday, you got enough time to add that and then get everything out of the way in a public session. That's next week. That's not this week. That's next week, okay? So, all right. So, 32 Assassin says, how about pulling out the stops in terms of leaving Oakland by providing parties, entertainment, blowouts with the team's involvement on game day to enhance the game experience? That's a great idea. That is a fantastic idea. The pine tree. Where have you been, Pine Tree? Oh wait, one moment, please. Just a brief station break. I'll be back in 4 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Okay, cool. I'm back. At any rate, Pine Tree. As I was saying, Pine Tree. Great to see you. Pine Tree says, great. My brother's keeper rise summit. Wonderful 2 days for Oakland and youth of color. Las Vegas is only a blue-collar scene, and automation will impact entertainment over the next 5 years. How about now? Boy, oh boy, what? I actually wrote about that regarding robotics impacting Las Vegas, because when I was there with my mom for CES 2019 this year at Bally's, where we love to stay, with these lineup of check-in kiosks and only 2 people to actually humanly check you in. You can either use the kiosk or you can use the human being. Mom insists on using the human being because, hey, the human being, you can talk about different kinds of rooms, exchange pleasantries, get to know that person. Next thing you know, you get a really kick-ass set of accommodations, right? You can't make that kind of haggling with a machine. You just push the button and you get what you get. So, there you go. 32 Assassin says, is Ring Central still going to be the naming sponsor going forward? Looks like it to me, yeah. I don't see anything standing in that way. Steve L says, I remember in a previous video you said the Las Vegas Stadium would not be completed in August of 2020. No, I said it would not be. I said that the NFL games would not be played for the entire NFL season. You would not be able to hold an entire NFL season there because it would not be open. What I said in a previous video, and it's very important to listen, is there's 2 time frames, okay? Because this is how stupid comments get started, but I want you to pay attention. There are 2 time frames. There's the time frame where the stadium is actually finished being built, okay? And you can enter it, start moving in whatever it is you're going to move in, and then there's when it's actually available to bring in crowds. There's a difference between certificate of occupancy and allowing people to just come on in and use it for use the stadium because you've got a ticket to be in there. There's a vast difference between those two outcomes. And what I said, and I'll repeat, is that Las Vegas Stadium will not be able to host a full NFL season with preseason games. It's just not there, okay? And if you add the 3-month move-in date, that pushes us to October 31st of next year. That's where we're at. So everyone's beginning to come off that idea that, hey, a full set of NFL games adding up to a season is going to be played there. Even Mark Davis at the Oakland Raiders party that I was invited to for CES said, well, if we can get this done. He threw in qualifiers to basically explain that even he's not certain that the stadium will be ready for NFL season 2020. And if you take a look at it now, that possibility that it's not going to be ready looms larger and larger and larger. Why? Well, the weather. You've got, what, it was, I think, 34 degrees today in Las Vegas at one point. Maybe getting colder than that. It's supposed to snow tonight. I believe it's raining, right? It's already raining, but it's supposed to snow tonight again. So that, if you think about it over the past week, that would add up to 6 of 10 days that Las Vegas and the stadium saw precipitation that was not predicted. They don't work during those days, all right? They don't work during those days. And so, oh, yeah, Steve, okay, cool, yeah. Yeah, the stadium's not going to be ready for a full 2020 NFL season. And the question that I have not had answered is, will the Raiders ask for a split season? In other words, hey, part of our games are played in Oakland, the rest of our games are played in Las Vegas. I still don't know the answer to that question. Muhammad says it would be hilarious if the Raiders never left Oakland. It would be. This is a conditional relocation, okay? I mean, the simple fact of the matter is this is a conditional relocation, all right? Just the way it is. John O'Connell, if I didn't say so, how you doing? Dayupi Scum says, haha. Looks like the Raiders may be stuck in Oakland through 2020 OL 2021. Las Vegas Raiders, at least, at the latest. Hey, John O'Connell says, since the stadium in Vegas is not going to be ready for play until October 31st, the Raiders more than likely will opt in for 2020 season in Oakland. And why not, you know? Like I say, you know, if you're going to finish out strong, finish out long. You know what I'm saying? Make it out. Make it happen. Las Vegas Stadium will be very exciting. But I'm telling you what's really exciting. The Rams Stadium going up. Have you checked out the construction videos around that? And have you looked at how large the earth-moving vehicles are around that project? And how many of them? I mean, they are not playing. If you look at that structure versus the earth-moving vehicles being used over in Las Vegas, hey, look, the ones down in Inglewood move a lot more dirt in a lot less time. Those things are, you're talking about in some cases 3-story buildings. Those things are huge, man. They are not playing, okay? That means they've got the budget to do this thing on time, well, with the exception of the delays, and well. Take a look at the videos. Look at the size of those vehicles. Look at how big the maw on some of those dirt movers are. Whew. Man, oh man. John Marks, how you doing? John Marks says he doesn't want the Raiders. 32 Assassin says, does a split season really make financial sense in terms of season ticket sales? No. It would be a complete disaster. But it's worth asking, okay? And the reason why I put it out there that way is as a kind of a playful warning to those who keep insisting that the stadium is going to be ready for the entire season, and yet they have no control over it. My point is, hey, look, if you're involved in selling PSLs, you're actually setting up a fraud. If you are telling people this, and you call yourself trying to market the stadium and everything, you're perpetrating a fraud. Just sit back and just don't do that. No one should be selling PSLs on the idea that the person buying them will guaranteed be able to see their games in 2020. If you do that, you have a problem. Because what are you going to have to do then? Someone's going to ask for their money back, or they're going to say, hey, look, I made all these plans and I spent this money, and now you're telling me it's not ready for this season, so give me that money back. But the Raiders' counter will be, well, it's lifetime. So it kicks in when it kicks in. And the fan that purchased it said, hey, look, no, you told me 2020. You see that problem? So if you're smart, you don't do that. You just simply go along with the idea that you're going to get a state-of-the-art stadium when it's ready. Just hold your horses, okay? Just hold your horses. It'll be okay. Nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be, oh, I got to be right. I got to be right. Ah. Hey, look, if the stadium opens in 2020 and NFL games are played there, great, all right? I just happen to hold that it's not going to happen. I just don't see any way. I just don't see it. I mean, you would have to get these guys working through rain, sleet, snow, super humid heat, nonstop, round the clock, all the time. I look at that webcam, I see a lot of days where there's nobody working anywhere, where the equipment's backed up alongside. We got these roads that have formed into puddles when it rains, and the rivers and everything. Not a lot of activity going on, and when there is activity, it's kind of here and there. I haven't seen a day, well, no, that's not true. I've seen a couple of days where that has matched the activity in Inglewood around Rams Stadium. I'm just being honest, okay? I haven't seen it. John Davis, how you doing? John Ma, how you doing? Jamal says he was all gung-ho about winning one at first. John Davis says, all the documents been signed now for the move to Davis? They'll be officially signed next week in public, okay? John Mark says, yeah, not anymore. So that's the information, folks, right now. It's anybody have any other questions? Because I wanted to really get that out. John Mark says, I hope the Raiders lose all 16 games this season. I don't. I want the Raiders to go to the Super Bowl, man. I want the Raiders to go to the Super Bowl in Miami, and I want them to bring home a trophy to Oakland. You know, I would love this to be a year where the Warriors bring home another finals to Oakland. We have another parade in Oakland, right? The A's go to the World Series, and the Raiders close out. This would be the greatest season in Oakland sports history. You hear what I'm saying? Oakland sports history. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Yeah, the Henderson facilities broke ground, and Rams says, "What about the roads not being ready by 2024?" That's a mess, and that's a train wreck that I saw coming back then. Because, and I remember when I say back then, I mean when the Nevada legislature was pondering over the then 900-pound weighted gorilla of a report by the Nevada Department of Transportation that estimated a $900 million cost for off-site transportation infrastructure improvements and changes around the stadium. And the point of the whole document was, hey, you know what? That's money you have to raise because the state isn't, you know, prepared to pay for that just like that. All right, so that, and when you started looking at the timeline for the projects, yeah, you had a situation where the stadium was going to be open and none of the roads were going to be ready. The Raiders, among others, insisted that would not be the case, and guess what we have, folks? It is the case. All right, so we've had a succession of these examples of the Raiders saying, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, and it doesn't happen, right? We had, oh, the documents are going to be finished by October 2017. No, actually, it was 2018. No, the bond issue is going to be floated by January of 2018. Well, actually, no, it was April. I mean, you know, okay? Just stop trying to rush things. Stop trying to get people to believe. Just concentrate on building the damn thing right. That's all the Raiders need to do. That's it. So, in any words on the new Raiders' new DB coach has been hired. I'm more interested in the fact that Johnny Morton's the wide receiver coach, because it tells me that Gruden is interested in getting people who can teach different principles of the Bill Walsh offense. Morton's one of those people. But also, Morton is good at teaching the principles of blocking by wide receivers. Keep that in mind. John Davis is surprised that they're going back to Oakland when Oakland is suing the Raiders. Why? I mean, if anyone who says that has zero knowledge of the history of the Oakland Raiders and the city of Oakland. Both parties have sued each other multiple times, and the Raiders have played in the Coliseum. This is nothing new. So what? When you go to court, it means you have a difference of opinion on something. That's so what, okay? Steve Ellis says, I went to the Browns-Raiders game last season. My first time at the Coliseum. Great game, great crowd. Yep, it is. Corey Brown says, what if they split time between the two cities next year and they end up winning the Super Bowl, which hosts the victory parade? And which city hosts the victory parade? If they split time, well, that's a good question. The victory parade, well, you know what? If they wind up splitting time like that, the victory parade would have to be in Vegas, because you're finishing out in Vegas. But I tend to think that, look, it's just, the JPA is going to say, hey, look, you pay us $10.5 million. You want to use this for the entire year, no half butting, all right? So if that be the case, then the Raiders will be in Oakland. There will be no split season, and the parade would be in Oakland, okay? So I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to answer my own question. I'm going to ask the question anyway, knowing that what I'll get back is a no. It's, look, you pay us, you stay here. Otherwise, we consider the lease break. So, all right. Now, the good news for Las Vegas Stadium is they have UNLV. UNLV doesn't have the same constraints. They're not, UNLV can go ahead, adjust its schedule, maybe play over here at Sam Boyd and turn around and play at the new stadium across town and get the stadium kind of warmed up for the Raiders, right? That'd be a good situation to have. In fact, I think that's an ideal situation because, if you think about it, UNLV would be the test bed, right? To get all the kinks worked out of the stadium before the Raiders move in and start playing there in full. That would be a great situation to be in, I think, for the Raiders. So Jose Rivas says, but one of the main roads the new stadium will take to 2024 and finish. Main road and the interchange. Hey Bear Hard says, speaking of roads, will they have enough parking and enough room for tailgaters? No. There will not be enough room for the kind of tailgating you want to do or used to do or used to doing, unless, of course, you happen to own a large Cadillac limousine and have one of the parking rights that would be afforded a sponsor, where you can park up close to the stadium and you can have your tailgating there. But the way the Raiders have laid this out is quite obvious that they're discouraging tailgating. The thinking is around people who are in the know around Vegas is the Raiders are trying to discourage tailgating so that you can come to the stadium and buy food and spend money inside. That's the idea. Muhammad says Raiders are getting Bell. We'll see. And John Akala says, do you think the Raiders could have picked a better spot in Vegas to build a stadium than the one they chose? Yeah, I do. I think that they could have picked downtown. They should have followed what the mayor of Las Vegas wanted. This is one time where I feel the Raiders made a huge mistake in not following along with the wishes, of Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodwin, who I pray that she overcomes her battle with breast cancer, by the way. She's a great lady. But you don't... The Raiders have two examples of basically defying female mayors. Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf and Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodwin, all right? Goodman, excuse me. So I don't... That's not a good track record. I'm just being straight up. You have to have a good political antenna on all times today. And from that perspective, the Raiders are not shooting par. So you have a person in the face of Mayor Goodman who's not exactly the biggest Raiders fan. I'll repeat, you have a person in the face of Mayor Goodman who's not exactly the biggest Raiders fan. She would be a huge Raider fan if the Raiders had went along with her plans to position them near the freeway up there in North Side, where more casinos are being built and Las Vegas is growing in that direction anyway. But I think that what they were probably thinking in terms of Davis and the Raiders is, hey, Mr. Adelson wants us to go here, South Side. And what Adelson wants, Adelson gets. I have a feeling it may have been that. My point is, you figure out a way. If the mayor of Las Vegas asks for it, you say to Adelson, hey, you know what? The mayor of Las Vegas wants us up there. Let's go with what the mayor wants there, and we can make that work. And then Mark Davis calls that meeting, something that he didn't do. I don't think Mark would have felt comfortable in that role, calling that meeting on his own. All right, I'm not speaking derisively of him. I'm just saying I don't think it's in his wheelhouse to be the person who makes that type of meeting happen politically like that between two heavy hitters. He may feel more comfortable doing it now, but it's too late. But then, as everything was new to him, no, I can't see Davis making that move. Look, there are a lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas. I will say that where they're at is extremely exciting. There's no question about it. It has its flaws. It's a block from the Decatur Fault. Of course, up there you got faults. We have 7 faults around the Las Vegas Strip. Just keep your fingers crossed with that one. But given where it's situated, it's exciting. The fact that there's not going to be a pedestrian bridge ready, that's another problem. So this is not going to be perfect. It's going to be a lot of fits and starts, and it's got a lot of hairs on it. You know what I mean? This thing's just got a lot of hairs on it. It's the way it is. Scruffman says that the stadium should have been by the track. Corey Brown says, sad, Oakland Raiders tailgating is legendary. Yep. Muhammad Ahmad says, now, you know what, though? Here's something else. I believe there are Raider fans that will tailgate in the businesses, nearby. I can't see businesses chasing away that kind of business. It's not going to be this perfect situation where the tailgating is going to be only over here and over there. People are going to do what they think they can get away with doing, all right? It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Muhammad says, reason for the location, NFL casinos want people to spend money at the casinos, then head to the NFL game on the weekend. That's what I was talking about. The pedestrian bill is not going to be ready, okay? We will see the hotels doing a lot of exclusive tailgate parties, then Ubering to the game. Right. And see that, Muhammad, I'm glad you made that point. But see, that setup spells extra money that the common Raider fan doesn't want to spend. The Raider fan, I mean, Muhammad, I guess maybe you haven't been to a Coliseum for a real Raider tailgate time party. We form our own tailgates. We don't have hotels do it for us, okay? Your comment says you will see the hotels doing a lot of exclusive tailgate parties. No. We do our tailgating. We don't have hotels do it for us. Right there underscores the difference, okay? Right there. John Mark says, you guys should be as mad as hell for the Raiders leaving Oakland. Sorry. Dayuppie Scum says, oh, don't forget the monorail won't be ready for a few years. Ding! As well. So, yeah. So it's not a clean situation, not perfect at all. And I am very much concerned with where the casinos are going to go with respect to sponsorships. I really am. Leonard Sally says, I really think Raiders Stadium will not be ready till 2021, to be honest. you know, it's not looking good. In fact, you know, we're talking about this, and the one thing I want to see is what the stadium looks like right now via, let's see here. Let's see what's going on since we're talking about it, and we can all take a look, right? Get a window on the stuff through what they call the live stadium cam. Ah, here we go. We're looking at a typical day, a typical Raider day dated, it's today, February 20th, 5:09 p.m. Here we go. Bam. Okay, there it is. All right. And, okay, do you see any activity? It's 5:09. I guess people have left for work. I don't. And see, look at this over here. All right, you see the steel here, right? But look over in this area. In back, you see right here to here. There's still no, this is the back, there's still no steel built. Whereas you have steel here, but you don't have any steel here, right? That's still incomplete. Why? That is still incomplete, okay? All right? Not even half. No, it's not even half complete. Take a look at this. Not even half complete. Know what to look for, okay? Because not all of this is built through here. You don't have any of the seat support structures up here, all right? You've got some steel rebar here, but you have no steel rebar back here. Take a look at this. There is no steel. See that? Look at that. See that gap right here? Look at this gap. There's no, look at that. There's nothing there. You see how this comes around here? There's nothing built there. Look at that. Nothing. You have some bars sticking up back over there, but that's it. Look at that. It's empty still. I mean, you understand what I'm getting at? Okay? Okay? So, I mean, there's a problem here in terms of the slowdown. And everybody went home from work, but it's still daylight. All right? Yeah, it is quite interesting. See that? See? And look at the size of the structure. Look at the size of the vehicles, all right, versus what you would normally see in Inglewood. Okay? There aren't a lot of cranes around to do work, to get stuff done. It's like they have them there and they're gone. Something is wrong here. I don't know what's going on. It's just that it's slow. Okay? I'm just going by what I see. I'm just going by what I see. Okay? I'm just going by what I see. All right? Katie says they probably run out of money to pay for the stadium. I'm just going by what I see. I know this crane has been in the same position for several days now. It's like they're waiting for something. Okay? So, you know, just saying. Folks might get mad at me for pointing things out, but I'm just... We can go over to McCarthy, Raiders, construction, and I found it. This is what I'm looking for, okay? This is what I found. Excuse me. Videos. And construction timeline. Animation shows construction timeline. Hold on a second. This page is slow to scroll because it's the Review Journal sucky website. Ugh. Oh, here we go. All right. Okay. Here it is. All right. This is it. Hold on a second. Okay. Here it is, folks. Right there, okay? See that? 2019 is what we're looking for, right? You see how the stadium's coming in? Let me see if I can move this down a little bit. There. Okay. Maybe I can zoom this back. View, zoom out. View, zoom out. There, okay. And then view, zoom out. Okay, so I'm doing that so you can see these dates, all right? So you see how we're coming into January 2019, right? You see, look, you see how this is filling in? All right? You see how the steel is coming in there? You see that? All right, let's pause it. Oops, doggone it. Right here, okay? Let me go down here, all right? And let me go back here. Okay, let's go back here. Like here's January 2020, 19 right there. Let me stop it here, all right? And my point is, see how this is January? See how this is filled in? You don't see that in the actual stadium right there, all right? Pause it. You see how this is filled in? You see that date is just past January, right? Into February, okay? Look at this. You see this? You see that? The freeway is here, right? You see this. You see this. This steel, right? You see all this, okay? Now look at the actual stadium. It's not there. It's not there. All right? So again, look at this over here. That's there. All right? See, that's the area that still needs to be filled in and everything working on, where the torch is going to be, and the door. That's in place here, okay? But then look back here. It's not there, okay? It's not there, folks. Right here to here. The back quarter, the front quarter here is, but it's not totally filled in like the model. You see what I'm getting at? You can't, I'm not making that, that's not a rumor, that's just there. You compare the model that McCarthy made, that's the McCarthy model, and you run it, and the actual is far behind what's there. Why? I don't know. But you can't say you're getting close to finishing your stadium when you got that big void sitting out there. Okay? Someone want to, you know, you see what I'm getting at? All right. Muhammad says, you notice it's on the other side where it's an easier path to get into the stadium. That hasn't, no, it's not. That's not a path to get into the stadium. That's, what are you saying? That's not an entryway. That's part of the goddamn structure, man. What are you talking about? The entryway to the lot is up a little further. That's not the lot entry area. They didn't build steel in that part. It wasn't for entry or exit. They just didn't build steel there. It's not there. It's funny how people try to make up excuses. No, I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you what I see. I'm not saying, well, it's because of this. I don't know why. It's not there. You're making up excuses. I'm not. It's not there. Ugh. Wow. Bill Pender says, the mob no longer runs Vegas these days, people. Welcome to 2019. He's right. 32 Assassins. I love the Vegas bots who scream everything is on time and all roses. Yeah, they better get, you know, look, the FBI could easily step in here and say, you know what, stop doing that. I'm just saying, you don't need to do that. Joseph Armendariz says, well, look at it as a positive way and see the glass half full instead of half empty. We get to keep the Raiders still in California. He's right. I always thought it was funny you have pirate stranded. That's a good one. I like that one. I always thought it was funny a pirate stranded in the desert. That's pretty cool. I mean, pretty cool, not ghoul. Pretty cool. All right, folks. I gotta get ready because tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern, I'm having this man on. Great book, controversial book. Controversial book. All right. 12 noon Pacific. 3 o'clock. The moral case for fossil fuels. Yeah, you read that here correctly. And we're going to talk about this in the Oakland context. It'll be the first time anyone has done that. Is coal really that bad a thing in terms of transport? Are we being sold a bill of goods on this whole deal? Where are we? Can we have a sane discussion on this whole matter without dividing into camps left and right? Can we have an intelligent conversation? Is that possible? Well, you know what? I think it is, and I'm going to have one with this man tomorrow. So I still gotta get ready to read. All right. So, all right. As John Marks would say, watch horror films, keep America strong. Die Yuppie Scum is saying, have you come up with names for what? I'm lost. I may be back later tonight. We'll see, but I gotta make sure I've done this one. Oh, any delay have any connections to utility company change? No. No. But I'll double check. It's a good question. I hadn't thought of it. So it's worth raising the question, expecting to get a no answer back, and then who knows what'll come back. But I'll ask. Oh, for the Raiders rebranding? No, I haven't thought about that one. Leonard Sally says they stopped to build the wall for Donald Trump. So basically what you're telling me is the steel rebar that's supposed to be going in on that side is actually on its way down to Mexico, right? You know what? As crazy as everything is today, I'd believe it. Oh my gosh. Raiders rebranding is a pipe dream. Yeah, it is. All right, folks. As they say, I is out of here. You know, I'm also going to do a special live stream on the Academy Awards this week. All right. All right. See you. And also the NFL Combine. I've been credentialed to cover the Combine once again. So we'll see. Oh, any quick thoughts? Joseph asks this question. Any quick thoughts on whether or not, but I'm Catholic duty to park on, you lost me there with that question. Will Pinder says Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders. We'll get used to it, okay? You get used to it. Just, you know what? Like I say, if this is going to be done, do it. I said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Do it right. Shock and awe, man. Shock and awe.